Hey Sanity Squad, welcome back to Novel Sanity. If you saw my last video, you already know I had way too many books to fit into one haul. So this is going to be part two. The Haunted, Twisted, Indie, and probably going to give me Nightmares edition. If you're new here, hi, I'm Elise. I read dark, moody, emotional stuff that makes me question my life choices, and apparently I'm fine with that. So let's get into this pile of chaos. First up, I have two book of the month picks. So the first one is The Haunting Pines by Kelly Armstrong. This is her third horror novel. It has small town secrets, creepy woods, witchy energy. So of course it checks all my boxes. It feels like the perfect fall evening, candle burning, blanket cocoon kind of read, kind of like today where it's like ugly and cloudy and no sun until it gets dark and I start questioning every noise in my house. I did read about this earlier in the year when I was looking at, upcoming releases, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna read that, but I did get book of the month credits for my birthday last year, and I saw that they were offering this as a choice, so I was like, sure, I will pick it up. So I decided to read this whenever I get to it. Nothing exciting in the inside, just red end pages. And then the next one that I got from Book of the Month is a special edition of Red City by Marie Lu. I have not read anything by her, and this is her first adult novel, and it is set to be a trilogy. So I don't know too much about this book yet, but from what I know of Marie Lu's writing, she gives like fast-paced, slightly emotional, slightly dangerous stories, which sounds right up my alley. But the end pages have like a city skyscrape, which I thought was really cool. And then nothing on the end pages. Anything on the hardcover? Nope, just Book of the Month logo. So excited to read this. What I read at the blurb, it sounds really good. So can't wait. Super excited. So I'm gonna open this box here. Maybe if I can get it open. Alright, let's do this one. Riftborn and Daughter of No Worlds. Okay, and then I think in this box is the second book and then a new book. Right. Yes. Duskbound and The Ascendant. So we have Riftborn, Duskbound, and The Ascended by Greenwich and Lennox. And Riftborn and Duskbound are books 1 and book 2 of the Esprithian trilogy. Book 3 is called Realmblade, and it is slated to be published May 26th of 2026. So I would definitely be pre-ordering it when it comes in. And then The Ascended is book 1 of the Asmerian duet. And the second book is, scheduled to release sometime in 2026. Not sure when. And I've seen on videos going around like Book Talk, Instagram, that it's better to read Riftborn and Dustbound from the Isperthian series before diving into the Ascendant. I don't know about you, but these covers are stunning. Like, display on my shelf and pretend I'm organized stunning. And I heard that these books are full of cosmic magic, found family, and of course, what would, a fantasy series be without heartbreak? So basically everything I like to suffer through. And then also joining into this chaos is Daughter of No Worlds. I unfortunately wasn't able to get the indie copies before they stopped printing them, and everybody that I have seen that are selling them want astronomical amounts for them. I would prefer paperback, but this is what we have to go with for now. And since I was already going to buy the first book, I was like, I'm gonna have to get all 3 of them in the same. So this is the hardcover. So again, this is a book that, I haven't read, but I've heard it's epic, mysterious, and full of twists. The perfect kind of fantasy that keeps me awake thinking about it at night. So excited to get into these when, ever I get to that point. And then got another box here. It's a little beat up. I then picked up the Sins of Silas, the Lies of Lena, that is arriving later today, and then the Memories of Merrick, which I'll get on Friday, and it just came out a couple of days ago. And these are all part of the Otation Chronicles by Kylie Snow. She has just recently been picked up by traditional publishers, so congratulations. And I believe this series is set to be 5 books, but I saw on her Instagram that she is leaning towards 6 books. And from what I've heard and what I know and what I can tell is that these are dark, emotional, a little messy, which, let's be honest, is exactly what I want in fiction and my dark fantasy. So I'm going into them blind, but I'm expecting drama, all the tension that can be had, and maybe a few poor life choices. So this is the Sins of Silas. So this is book number 2. I will be getting book number 1 later today, and then book 2.5, The Memories of Merrick, will be here Friday. So, but I just love like these little indie books. I don't know what it is about them. Like, I just love this size, even though it makes the book longer. I also grabbed another book that's been going around Bookstagram and Book Talk, is Kissed by the Gods, and I got the little novella Unwritten by the Gods, which is book 0.5. This is book 1 by Katie Rogan. These books are part of the Eternal War series that will be 4 books, I believe she said on her Instagram, and they'll be focusing on different couples throughout the story. So Apparently in this book are Greek gods, fate, forbidden love. I didn't even read the rest of the description before hitting buy, and to be honest, I didn't even really read the description until after I bought it, just based on what people were saying and how they were reacting. I was like, yes. These, you know, sound like the kind of stories that are both romantic and devastating, you know, the ones that make you emotionally unstable, but for some reason we're grateful for it. Yeah. Kissed by the Gods. Katie wrote it. Excited to read it. I want to know what all the hype is about. Like, I have so much FOMO, like with this Scythian Theory series, with what's it, the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. Like, everybody says this is like God tier to them. Same with Riftborn, and I've heard that in the Riftborn series, that these books just get better and better, like as you read them. And a lot of people are saying that the Ascended was like 6 stars, top tier of the year, probably their favorite book that they have read all year, that they're going to read all year. So, oh, these chapters have pictures. Very cool. Again, like, I love the matte of the covers. The little things, you know? The little things that make you buy a book. Okay, so next we're going to be getting into the horror section, starting with A Head Full of Ghosts, which I don't have yet. That'll be arriving later today with the Lies of Lena book. But everyone says that this book is creepy in a psychological way, which, being a counselor, give me the messed up, give me the weird psychological thrillers. It's, you know, the kind that makes you doubt what's real and what's not. So I have a feeling I'll be reading this one with the lights on, most likely. And then there's a book that I was not expecting the size of this thing. It is Raised by a Killer by C. Kalmasar. I'm not really sure how to say her name, and I apologize if I butchered that. She is known for writing horror books, specializing in extreme horror and splatterpunk. This one sounds wild, dark, graphic, and definitely not like light reading, but I am curious. So this is the complete collection of books 1 through 10. And it's a story of a daughter being raised by a single father who happens to be a serial killer. So I love true crime. So this also was something that sounded right up my alley. And sometimes I like seeing how far horror can push before it completely breaks me. So yeah, I was not expecting this book to be this size. Like, look at this. It's bigger than my head. That's probably the size of my dog. I'm not gonna be able to take this anywhere to read it. I'm gonna have to read this at home. Like, I mean, the flop is great. Yeah. Can't wait. It sounds intriguing, and it might be, you know, a super quick read. Like, the chapters aren't very long, which is good. The print is pretty large, so I mean, maybe that's why she made it this size, so it wasn't like super long, because it is like 800 pages. I think it's 10 books, so yeah. Raised by a Killer. Extreme Horror, the complete series. And the book's a little bent up, but that's because it came from Amazon and they didn't always take the best care in putting stuff in boxes. Okay. And then finally, I purchased The Black Farm by Elias Witherthrow. There is a sequel called Return to the Black Farm. I've heard this one has been called one of the most disturbing horror books out there. So naturally I bought it. I read recently this month, probably at the beginning of this month, I read my first Darcy Coates and John Malfi books, and I didn't get what I was looking for from either of those books. You know, they were good and I would recommend them. They just weren't what I expected going in. Like, I wanted to be scared reading that, and I didn't get it in those two books that I read from them. The Darcy Coates one was Gallows Hill, which, you know, it was a haunted house type thing, and I thought that would be scary, but it wasn't. And then the Ronald Malfi was Come With Me, and I enjoyed that. I liked that story a lot. It was more of like an investigative mystery type book. I am a little terrified to read this book, but it feels like, you know, the kind of read you finish and just stare into space for a while, or cover up with blankets and put them over your head and leave the lights on. So we'll see if I actually end up picking this up. I think this one is about a couple who end up unaliving themselves, and then they wake up in or at the Black Farm. So I'll be curious to see what the Black Farm actually is. So yeah, that is all of the books in part 2. So between this and part 1, I have everything from witches to war trauma to full-on nightmares. Basically my reading taste in a nutshell. If you have read any of these, please tell me which one I should mentally prepare for first. It's probably going to be these two for sure. I would definitely say this one. Let me know in the comments. And if you are new here, welcome to the Sanity Squad. We read dark things, talk about them like it's therapy, and somehow find peace in the chaos. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and take care of your mind and your TBR. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!